What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Dakar Desert Rally, and well, as everybody knows, the 1.004 patch did come out recently for consoles, and I would say it's going to put the game in the right direction, but to be honest, I would say there's still so many things to sort out on this game, my goodness, so I'm sure a lot of people are aware that there is still a lot of issues going on with Dakar that really do need to be addressed quickly, so I would say the biggest thing about the 1.004 patch was the fact that the auto-saving is going to be fixed on the game now, which is obviously going to be really big considering many players were losing all their progress trying to even go through the game a little bit, so that's definitely going to be a big issue, but at least that's hopefully going to be fixed now, but it still seems like there's a lot of bugs and or glitches basically plaguing this game, and I feel like it's probably going to put this game in a very bad spot because a lot of the bugs need to be fixed before they can release other content. I have been noticing as well after looking at Reddit and or going over some recent comments on the video with the 1.004 patch that there's definitely a lot of issues going on with this game still. For example, apparently the AI are still kind of insane and or maniacs when trying to race with them. At first, after doing a couple of the events, I was like, oh yeah, the AI do seem to be fixed a bit, but now after playing the game for a bit, I can definitely see what people are saying about the AI being complete maniacs all the time. Like, they honestly do not care that they're racing other opponents or whatever that might be. They pretty much run into you for no reason, or they basically do cause you to crash. And sometimes I notice they're way too fast as well, but hopefully all these things are going to be fixed in the future. Now, some of the other problems I have been seeing around a bit are going to be the frame drops on the game as well, still happening on PS4 and stuff like that. So on PS5, I really don't have a lot of issues with frame drop, but I have noticed going over like some checkpoints and all that, that yeah, the game is still kind of glitching out a bit and or dropping frames sometimes in certain areas. So I'm really hoping that's going to be fixed as well. And like playing on like PS4 and the older Xbox, I think this is going to be pretty annoying because the game is going to continue to drop frames, and I feel like having that on there is probably going to ruin the experience on the game for the most part. I did also have someone commenting saying that they basically can't shift up gears when in automatic, which I personally have not had this issue yet, but if you guys have, let me know if anyone else has experienced this as well, because I would say this is probably going to make it almost groundbreaking if you can't actually shift through the gears. I know not everybody does like playing in manual, so I completely understand how this could be a problem. I did also have someone saying the game was getting corrupted after doing a certain stage on PS5 as well, so that was happening before the update and also after, because unfortunately that was probably not included in the patch notes. They're obviously focusing on like the main things that are really hurting the game right now, which unfortunately there's probably going to be a lot more things on this game that really do need to be addressed pretty fast. I also wanted to go over some of the other things I did notice when going over some comments and or the Reddit as well. So this is kind of interesting, the fact that there is things in the game now that were not in it before after this patch, but the weirdest part is none of this was actually mentioned in the patch. So the first thing someone did mention, they apparently increased the radius of the waypoints in sport mode. I personally haven't noticed this, but then again, I really do not pay attention to the notes all that much. I kind of just race as fast as I possibly can. But this can definitely be kind of weird if they did actually do that. Someone was also mentioning that they did decrease the radius of the waypoints in professional mode. So if you guys have been noticing this, by the way, let me know in the comments below. I find this really interesting, the fact that you can't really find this anywhere in the patch notes and or, pretty much anywhere for that matter. So why are they actually changing stuff that no one asked for? It's almost like the, oh, everything's fine, let's not change anything, and they go and change stuff and or do something to the game that wasn't needed. Unfortunately, this can go with like the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 as well, which is kind of unfortunate, but unfortunately there's really not much you can do about that in that aspect, because once things are like finalized in games, it's probably going to be really hard for them to fix that. And someone was also mentioning that there's no more checkpoints where you have to stop and stamp during the stages, and apparently you just go through like the actual waypoints now, which is pretty weird. So again, let me know if you guys are seeing some of these issues as well in the game. And someone said they removed the auto driving CP. Now you have to drive through them and activate them manually or something like that, which is kind of weird. I don't really know why they would do stuff like that to the game. Who knows though, because maybe some of this can be bugs and or issues releasing after a patch did come out, but let's all hope that some of this will be addressed in the future. But I have a really weird feeling that a lot of players are probably going to get tired of waiting because the patches do take a while. I did mention in the video where I go over the 1.004 patch that hopefully they're not going to keep updating PC first and then the consoles get the update like a week and a half later. I feel like that's probably going to make a lot of people very frustrated, including myself, because what if the PC update's not all that great, so we're waiting for an update that's not going to be all that good either. Let's all hope they can actually get the patches out for everybody at the same time. I know maybe it might be easier for the PC to get it, they have to go through different things with like Xbox and or like PlayStation and or Sony, whatever you guys would like to call that, before they can get the patches out, which I get that, but hopefully they can maybe find a way to get all the patches out at the same time instead of like 2 weeks apart. There was also someone on the Reddit mentioning that they were starting to stutter when going through like a checkpoint or something on Xbox Series X, which by the way, unfortunately you're not going to be alone on that. I'm still having these stuttering issues on PS5 even after a month after this game did come out, so that is unfortunately not going to be completely fixed, and I would say it's definitely going to mess up the experience because you can go through that checkpoint and lag and hit something, or something like that can definitely go wrong. So hopefully that's going to be addressed as well, but after seeing how slow some of these updates have been on the card, honestly does make me a little bit concerned for the future of this game. I really do think a lot of players might end up getting very tired of this and or, putting the game down, maybe refunding it, not even bothering with it, and maybe getting it like 6 months from now and the game's going to be running better. Unless something absolutely ridiculous happens and maybe they abandon it, but let's not hope that's going to happen. One of the main reasons why I wanted to mention that is the fact that the car is supposed to be on like a big roadmap for the coming months for more content and all that, and it seems one of the updates already did get pushed back because of the bugs and all that, so it does honestly concern me a bit. Are we actually going to get all the content that was promised on the game in the future? Like the other events that are supposed to be released on the game as well, including free mode, so I'm really hoping all that's going to come out within the next month or so before the year is over. That way we'll give players more of a better experience with the game if they have been struggling with stuff like saving their progress and or experiencing many glitches and stuff like that. So let's really hope that stuff's going to come out on time and not keep getting pushed back over and over again, because eventually people will end up just walking away from this game because they're not going to really see a point of messing with it anymore, which I really don't want that to happen. I'm not gonna lie guys, I really don't aim these videos to be negative on Dakar because I personally really like this game and I think it has a ton of potential, and I really want Dakar Desert Rally to actually be really good so a lot of players can enjoy it, because the overall experience on this game I do think is pretty dope, once they actually add free roam and more events and all that and maybe fix some of the physics with the vehicles. I would say Dakar is going to be a really fun game to play overall, so let's definitely hope that's going to happen in the future. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about all of this. I do want to know your thoughts and maybe some issues you are also having with the game, or some new problems and issues you might be facing after the 1.004 patch. I would say this is one of the biggest concerns for many players as well, is will Dakar get more issues and or bugs slash glitches after more patches are released? Let's definitely hope not, because I really do want this game to get in the right direction.